It's the Hustle God, aka Wise the Warlock. We reaching in our combat tool bag one more again. It is a cool black affair. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. LDBC only, LDBC or nothing, LDBC versus everybody, LDBC everywhere. A shout out to my man Act Reacher. Welcome to Boxing and Breakfast, aka Breakfast with the Champ. Pull up to the table, have a little bit of battle with your breakfast. Give me 1 second. I can see if I can wrench you up. Alrighty, family, do me a favor and like, support, follow, um, subscribe to everything. LDBC, Trilitary, TWT, Simple Truth Network. Check out my other two channels, HFO Church, Acting Right TV. Um, and support my OGs. OG Loco, that's Kano Loco Sports to y'all. OG Ho, that's Black Fight Fan TV. Support the usual suspects. ShopUsualSuspect6.com. ShopUsualSuspect6.com. Support each individual usual suspect and peruse, browse through everything they got up there. Uh, and support, check out my little brother Black Sun and 9-4 Sun God. Three ways to support the channel, family. Three ways to support the channel. Um, One, you can go to shopusualsuspect6.com, shopusualsuspect6.com, and purchase some combat tool bag merch. Uh, Purchase some gear that we have. We have warm weather gear. We have cool weather gear. So yes, we do got hoodies. Hey, welcome, Stephen Elder Mac. Welcome, Hustlers Home. Welcome to Boxing and Breakfast, episode 14, aka Breakfast with the Champ. Pull up, have a little bit of battle with y'all breakfast. I appreciate y'all support and stopping by. So the first way to support the channel is shopusualsuspect6.com, shopusualsuspect6.com, and pick up some merch. Number two is purchasing a book from the Hustle God series. I have a Hustle God series on Amazon.com. It's a financial literacy uh, book series, 4 book series. The link will be in the description for all three ways to support. But if you type in Hustle God series or hit one of these links in the description, you'll see uh, the language of the 1%, Hustle God's linguistics of money, uh, Hustle God Masterpiece Daily Golden Mind Molding, Hustle God Afro Gold Part 1, and Hustle God Art of the Hustle. Finally, the last way to support the channel is diving into that Cash App. You can donate to the Cash App and sponsor a fighter or sponsor a creator at money sign Hustle God Inc. That's money sign Hustle God Inc. Those are the ways to support the channel. That said, let's dive into today's show. Um, I want to see if I can wrench everybody up. Give me 1 second. Uh, yo, can y'all hear me? Tell me y'all can hear me, please. Family. Yeah, I tried to wrench up the family in the building and shit folded. But all right, hey, it looks like we back here, y'all. Looks like we back now. Um, Wrench up ratchet since '91. All right, sorry about that, family. Hopefully y'all can hear me again. We are back. Yeah, I was trying to wrench up the family, and it took me to their channel directly, and it looked like I was off live for a second, but I'm back. So yes, guys, today's topic, um, today's show obviously is on the fights that took place over the weekend. So that said, we can dive right in. We had the Zerto versus Bivol card. We had the Morel versus your Bossy Nali card. Um, so let's go into the Morel card first. That said, and welcome everybody. I appreciate y'all stopping by. Smash that like button for me if you can. But yeah, let's dive into the Morel card. So Banana Rosario fought on that card, but Nate Gallimore fought on that card. Andre Darrell fought on that card, as well as J Rock fought on that card. Andre Darrell is at 174 now, light heavyweight. He looks like a completely different person. A lot more muscle mass. Still corny as all hell, but he looked good. He looked good. He gave a good showing of himself. Um, those brothers are just very different, like very weird individuals. I'll never be a Darrell fan. But I would like to see Darrell fight Bivol or Beterbiev if they don't fight next. Just as well, they won't fight next because obviously Beterbiev is fighting Andre, uh, Anthony Yard in January, I believe. And if not in January, I know Anthony Yard has a tune up, and then they fight. So yeah, I would like to see maybe when Beterbiev fights Anthony Yard, I would like to see Bivol fight Crybaby Andre Darrell. So yeah, Andre Darrell, he looks different. He performed a lot more aggressively, but again, that was the level of competition he was facing. So we don't know how he'll do against a top uh, light heavyweight, but he had a good showing of himself. Nate Gallimore fought some debuter. He was a debuter in America. He was 20-0. Some Eastern European dude who's like half repping Ukraine, half repping somewhere else. Um, the guy he could fight. He had a good jab. Funny looking combinations. Like he's weird built, but he was able to land some effective power punches on Nate Gallimore. I mean, Nate Gallimore is a 154 pounder. He fights out of Chicago by way of Jamaica. Excuse me. He's we're pretty good friends. I mean, he's a good guy. Nate Gallimore. We we've been friends on social media for a while now, just liking each other's stuff back and forth. He's a really good dude. Um, I wanted him to come in there, step on gas, get Cuz out of there, work to the body a little bit more, um, very various punches, body hit, just be a little more creative with his onslaught. But the guy he was facing is a natural 160 pounder. Nate, this was his first fight at 160, it seems like, and he couldn't deal with the size advantage of the bigger guy pressing him, and his volume really was the sign of the night that it was a bad night for Nate the Great, because his volume wasn't half of what the guy he was fighting uh, set. So the guy he was fighting, please block and remove anybody who got like porn related shit in here. Um, move 1 second, guys. That was a first. They popped up in my chat with the remove now. Is there a block button? Hide user on the channel. There we go. Yeah. So the guy who fought Nate Gallimore, he came with some shit. His English was better than all of those. His English was better than all of those Eastern European guys who are his like his contemporaries or counterparts or friends. So he seems to be an interesting guy, who we'll be able to get a little more personality from than we did from like the Klitschko's, the Homochenkos, and the Usyks, if you will. Opulent LD, what's cracking with you, family? Welcome, welcome to Boxing and Breakfast, episode 14. Had a little bit of technical difficulties in the beginning half. I kicked myself out, then I jumped back in. But I'm learning the ropes. I'm back. We here. So yes, we're just recapping the Bivol versus Zerto card. Um, Only went over the Darrell fight so far. Was not impressed really. He did look good, but it was against subpar opposition. Finishing up Nate Gallimore fight. Nate Gallimore, he just was overwhelmed by the size and volume of the bigger guy. Um, the guy, he's a good guy. He's a likable guy from the Ukraine, and yeah, he had a good showing of himself. But let's see how he does against actual 160 pounders, actual middleweights his size. Let's see if he can bully them like that. I'd like to see him against maybe a Matt Korobov if he's well, because they're very similar stylistically. That said, J Rock, J Rock made his return. It's weird. We have 150. We have three 154 pounders all making their 160-pound debut. Oh, excuse me. Three 154 pounders all making their 160 debut today, and that was Gallimore, Banana, and J Rock. Now, again, Gallimore's didn't go so well. J Rock's went the opposite. J Rock, he fought some guy, and he looked like J Rock that I know. Now, when people say the best boxers of 154, they typically just throw it to Tony Harrison. I say Tony Harrison and J Rock. J Rock has one of the best mid range games at 154, at least until Fundora hit the scene and until Earl Spence moves up. The mid range game was owned by J Rock, and it was displayed in that Hurt fight, and also displayed against him versus Gallimore. So I wonder if the snack regimen and getting down to 154 was hurt J Rock um, more than helping him. But I like the way J Rock looked at 160. Um, I liked him stepping on the gas. I liked him being his good old self, basically working the mid range, body head, short shots, and being defensively responsible. Also, this was a lower level opposition as well, so it it doesn't state a lot, but it does show that J Rock is moving back in the right direction, and he looks healthy at this weight. So kudos to J Rock. Shout out Pennsylvania. Uh, you already know how we rocking. Banana Rosario. Banana Rosario fought uh, this. I forgot his damn name, but it was a guy who came up from 147, came up from 154, and made his debut at 160 with Banana Rosario, Jason Rosario making his debut at 160. Jason Rosario looked stronger at 160, looked healthier at 160, but as soon as he got caught with that body shot, um, the first one he caught, he blocked and tried to fire back, and the guy doubled up, um, hit him right to the liver, and he went down. From that moment forward, it was downhill. Uh, I wind up stopping him later in the fight, blitzing him and getting him up out of there. But Jason has something. They mentioned in the fight that he was dealing with some tapeworm or something like that when he fought Charlo. But what's to say about now, or what's to say about when he fought Lubin? You know, it's just like what's going on with his body. His torso it's very very weak. I mean, it's one thing to be folding over like Keith Thurman or have to like take a lap like Keith Thurman, but to just be like literally melting from body shots and can't recover at all from body shots, it says a lot. So I think he leaned toward retirement or fighting again, or at least fighting again at this level, and that might be best for him because the guy he fought, um, he I recall seeing him fight at welterweight, and actually recall seeing him lose at welterweight. So for him to come up and debut at 160 and beat the bigger man, who's who wasn't who was a giant junior middleweight at that, it it's that it may be curtains for Jason. I think Jason had a lot to offer, has a lot to offer, but if he can't get his body together, then what will he what will his staying power be? Like how long could he really last if everyone knows to just reach down there and stab him in the guts? Pause. But yeah, so Banana that he I think that might be the last time we see Jason Rosario, but he's done a lot for the Dominican Republic at this point. He was unified champion, short lived, but he reached the elite level by beating J Rock, getting J Rock out of there. So kudos to him and kudos to his opponent. Now, Zerto Romero, I mean, excuse me, Morel versus Yerbossi and Nelly. Now, I'd say this was a pretty stacked undercard. It was just broken up pretty weird. They put half of these fights, not half of them, but they put most of the good ones on like a Showtime YouTube stream, and then the rest of them were on the actual card. And I just thought the ones that were on the card, the main card, should have been on the YouTube card, and the ones that were on the YouTube card should have been on the main card. But no one wants to put Andre Durrell on the main card. So, and I don't blame them because you never know how that's going to go. But I do think J Rock should have been a part of the main card, to be honest. Um, but yeah, that said, Morrell versus your boss in the league. Man, David Morrell Jr., man. If y'all don't get that young man his props, he's slick, he's strong, he is a motherfucking monster. Skywalker was cracking. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Breakfast and boxing. Boxing and breakfast, excuse me, episode 14. Pull up, have a little bit of battle with your breakfast. Appreciate you stopping by, brother. Um, and good work on your first day back. I like what I saw, man. You got to give yourself a little bit of leniency. 2 miles on your first day back is good. Um, so solid work. Um, but yeah, Dave Morrell, his accuracy, his punch placement, all the way there, all the way there. His creativity with his offense and defense, top notch. I mean, the guy's really displaying a high level of skills, especially to have as few fights as he's having. Now, granted, your Boston he was undefeated, but we've never seen him before, so he might be undefeated on the domestic level from where he's from, or from maybe even the UK level or something like that. But we've never seen him truly proven. But David Morrell on this on his ass yesterday. He was on his ass on Saturday, and he was having fun in there. He really looked like a giant sweet pea. I mean, he had his hands low. He was swinging. I mean, he was slipping and rolling. Everything your boss in the league could come with, and then he just started picking up the combinations in which he dropped them, and then the guy recovered, and then uh, he got him up out of there a little bit later. So very impressed with David Morrell. I definitely think David Morrell is ready for the top guys. I do think David Morrell could, based on what he's shown us, he's ready for the top guys. But I do think, slickster wise, I think the best battle of boxers at 168 would be David Morrell and Caleb Plant. And then you got like possibly the battle of the best. Um, it could be David versus David. Real quick, Sky. You're bossing only Kazakhstanian gold medalist and was 16-0. Morel is really that good. Prayers out to your. Yeah, man. That's crazy that he was a gold medalist. I didn't know that much. I did know he was undefeated, but yeah. Hopefully he recovers soon and recovers well. Um, there was rumors that he was in a coma. I'm not sure if that's confirmed or if it was just a rumor, but I really hope he recovers well. What's weird to me though, Sky, is that he was paying homage to his Mongolian ancestry, but he's from Kazakhstan. I just don't get it. I know there's like they're Eastern European there, but then they're like on the border of Asia. Like I don't know. I just don't know. I thought Mongolian history. I mean, the Mongolian lineage or race was tied toward the geography of Mongolia, east, not to uh, Kazakhstan. But hey, who understands? Damn, damn. They said it's confirmed. Well, Sky said it's confirmed. He might die. It's a sad situation. That's very sad. I hate to hear some shit like that, man. It's terrible to hear that. Damn, man. Yeah. So Morel on that final blow, um, he right right as he was celebrating, the guy he landed on the ropes, but then got up. I mean, kind of. No, excuse me. The referee jumped in the middle to wave off the action, and he kind of stumbled back, but the ref kind of stabilized him. As he was looking somewhat stable on his feet, he stumbled back again and kind of fell toward the ropes, and Morrell stopped his celebration to go assist him there. So the guy seemed to be pretty banged up. Hey, thank you for that, Sky, because I get it, but it's just like aesthetically when you look at like their race, like you'll see the brownish, the yellow, the Asiatic features of Asians, and for it to be right there on the border, it just Triple G looks like a man. You know what I mean? Like yeah, you're bossing Ali, even like yeah, they got chinky-ish eyes, but they do look like white people. You know what I mean? So it's hard to tell. Like, are you more Asian or are you more white? But hey, who cares? I mean, I just hope the guy recovers. I hope he gets well. It's just he was paying homage to uh, Genghis Khan, so I was just kind of thrown. Eastern Kazakhstan is Chinese Mongolian area. Oh, good. That's good to know. You learn something new every day. I didn't know how close or how far it was, but it just like when we see images depicted of Mongolians, they're a lot darker and they look a lot frizzier hair compared to how Triple G looks, or compared to how um, a lot of the guys look coming from Kazakhstan. But I guess they're they're Eastern Asian Europeans. I guess that would be the way to describe them. But yeah, Morel, he sent the guy into a coma. I mean, he really is a deadly or lethal opposition at that level. It's not even a question anymore. So with that said, talking about the Zerto versus Bivol fight, I mean, Bivol, he's proven at this stage. I mean, Bivol, he put pause on Zerto Ramirez. Zerto came in the bigger guy. He looked to have the reach advantage. I mean, he looked to have the advantage of, granted, southpaws and southpaw and orthodox have essentially the same advantage or disadvantage, but the experience advantage typically goes to the southpaw because they're used to fighting orthodox. It was almost like, I mean, they're used to fighting orthodox opponents, but it was almost like Bivol was the southpaw, if you will, because he knew how to attack um, safely Zerto over and over again. I mean, he would blitz him. He would throw a couple throwaway shots at the guard and go right through it with the back half of his combination. Um, he would toy with and manipulate Zer's guard, whether it was punching at it, pawing at it, or just plain old snatching his hand away from his face and firing the two up the middle. He was creative with his punch combination, whether it was three, four, or five punch combinations, and then he hurt Zerto a number of times in the fight, which caused Zerto to shell up, but caused Zerto to not necessarily shell up in the sense of how Mikey did, like how he literally shelled up against Spence, but we didn't see him mount any offense to the body or attempt to pour on anything to hurt Bivol. And granted, he was stunned a few times, but when you get stunned like that and when you get hit with some stuff you don't like, just as my OG said, you gotta a part of you has to say, well, I gotta test him and hit him with some shit he don't like, and see how he reacts to that. And the dog wasn't in Zero at all. It was taken out of him, and from the first time he got hit with an exchange he was disagreeable with. But Bivol outclassed him. He did show that Zerto is on that Golden Boy diet, and that Golden Boy cannot build fighters with the way that they maneuver their fighters. This will happen every time with from Zerto to Mugia to Ryan Garcia. I mean, if you look at all of Golden Boy's fighters, unless they have good ones like Linares or JoJo, like and I don't even know if JoJo is still with them, but unless they have good fighters like they had in Linares and JoJo, they're not gonna perform at the highest level. Literally, they're gonna beat up bums, and then once they get to that highest level, they're gonna be exposed. So Zerto, that undefeated reign is over. They did a lot of building for this guy for no reason, and now it's just another Mexican name on Bivol's resume. So moving forward, again, I would like to see Bivol fight. I would like to see him beat the shit out of Andre Durrell. I really don't like them Durrell brothers. They're just cornballs, super lame. Like people you would never want to be around in real life. Like just behavior of like that of like just a dirty ass weirdo. Like so, I'm sorry. Like I'm not sorry. They can take it how they want to take it. I'm not fans of theirs. Never will be. Never was. But I would like to see Andre Durrell fight Beevil. If he's going to be at 174 or light heavyweight, then fight the best. Let's see what you actually made of. But that said, yeah, after that we got to see Beevil Beterbiev. Like y'all Russians been holding up this division, and it's getting annoying. Like we got motherfuckers holding up the division in heavyweight, and we know who. Uh, Faggot ass Fury and Usyk holding up the heavyweight division when they should have just fought immediately so we can see who undisputed is, see who the best is. Now we got light heavyweight. They've been, I mean, we ain't had unification since Beterbiev Vostik. So it's like, what the fuck is the holdup? We want Beterbiev Bivol. I don't care about what the numbers do. I don't care about if the promoters become rich or not. Let's get a unification and let's get this shit over with so we can see who's the better of the two. Because just seeing them draw out It seems like the opposite of what you guys are doing. You don't want to have an all Russian celebration of them fighting each other, but you got these two Russians running around with belts, and you got them fighting nobodies. So, and yeah, I'm starting to notice that Bill is turning into a executioner, Sky. Um, but yeah, Bill is really starting to turn into that guy. So if you, unless we're gonna still matched up against his own, then what's the point? Uh, yeah, that actually says a lot too. Sky does, but I want to see them. I want to see who the best is. I want I like heavyweight, and we're not going to see that unless we see Bivol versus Beterbiev. Um, but I think that's all I really got for real. Bivol, unless he's going, like yeah, he kind of called out Beterbiev saying he wanted undisputed, but but we need this fight ironed out. We need this fight to happen after this Anthony Yarde fight. I mean, they both would have had tune-ups at that point, Zerto and Anthony Yarde. Um, so I need to see them match up. I need to see undisputed at light heavyweight. With that said, guys, there's three ways to support the channel. Three ways to support the channel. You can go to shopusualsuspect6.com and you can pick up combat tool bag merch. We have warm weather gear. We have cool weather gear. That means we got hoodies. The link will be in the description to this video, by the way, for all of the ways to support. Way number two, we got books called the Hustle God series. You can go to Amazon.com or go to the link in the description, and you'll see a series of books. Language of the 1%, that's Hustle God's Linguistics of Money. Uh, Hustle God Masterpiece, Daily Golden Mind Molding. Hustle God Afro Gold Part 1. And Hustle God Art of the Hustle. Um, and then lastly, last but not least, the way of supporting the channel, final way of supporting the channel is donate to the Cash App. You can donate to money sign Hustle God Inc. That's hashtag Hustle God Inc. Money sign Hustle God Inc. Thank y'all for stopping by, having breakfast with the champ. This is Boxing and Breakfast, episode 14. Um, we successfully reached into our combat tool bag. It is a code Black Affair. Until next time, guys. And if you got here late, you can take it back to the top. It is a replay friendly live. But I will see you guys Wednesday. We will be discussing Jessica McCaskill's horrid performance versus Chantel Cameron and Wonderful Women's Wednesdays. But until Wednesday, I will see y'all. Deuces.